Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're all doing well under these very, very difficult circumstances. Welcome to episode 62 of Daily Live Chat with John, where we basically talk about pretty much anything you want, to be honest with you, just as long as it's West Ham related. But no, we talk about everything. It's it's an open as the videos, the opening video shows. It's an open Q&A. So I talk to you, you guys talk to me. We ask each other's questions and stuff. And thank you to everybody, of course, that has got us over the 1,550 subscriber mark. Thank you very much for that. It's very, very nice of you to do so. So we're only 48 away from the target of 1,600. So we can get a live gig going for which will basically get any donations received will be going directly to the NHS. Now, first and foremost, I need to tell you guys that, as always, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please, there's a link in the description below. They have free delivery on everything that, for this weekend, to mark the fact that they got 20,000 followers on Twitter, I think, if I remember correctly. I forgot to tell you yesterday, so apologies about that. But yeah, so if any purchase you make through the link in the description below, you won't pay shipping for this weekend, and also any commission that the channel will get from the purchases you guys do make. Again, that money will be going directly to the NHS, so you'll be helping those who are helping us to get back to normal, whenever the hell that's going to be. There's a lot of stuff coming out, about the stupidity of people. Bournemouth, for example. Bournemouth Beach, there's more and more things coming out showing that Liverpool celebrations the other night as well, for that matter. It's just, yeah, we are clandestine to see a second spike because people aren't behaving. And in a way, I'm quite glad that we had that rain that we had earlier today, because it's made the atmosphere not as tense. It's not been as hot. It's still warm, and it was nice walking out in that summer rain. It really was nice. Really felt it was quite refreshing walking out in that. And but yeah, so I just have a look to see who's in the chat, because there's only 2 people watching at the moment. Unfortunately, there's normally a few more by now. But hello Eden, good to see you, mate. Hope you're keeping all right. But yeah, an absolute record breaker for the US yesterday. Florida have had 9,585 new COVID cases over the last 24 hours. Unbelievable. I know the population densities are different and everything, but still 9,500 new cases over in Florida in just one day. That's incredible. It really, really is incredible. Now, I'm hoping a few more people are typing in, because we've got a lot to talk about. So I'm just going to, before everybody else comes in, hopefully, because there's a few things I want to get your opinions on. I'm obviously going to talk say mine, but I'm also going to need to get you guys on board with this as well, because it's quite clear that Andy, who always tells people to be on time, is late. But Nathan Lumholtz asked a very, very good question on the replay of yesterday's live chat. So, guys, as I said, if you missed the replay, or you're watching the replay now, put your comments and any questions you want in the comments section below, and I will answer them in the next video. Nathan said that he asks, you mentioned Josh Collin has signed a new contract. What do you think we should do with him when he returns from loan? Give him a chance, quite frankly. And guys, for the 5 people that are watching this at the moment, let me know what your thoughts are on this. But as I said, for me personally, Josh Collin, I'd give him a chance. We're going to need all the help we can get next season, whether it be still staying in the Premier League or we're down in the Championship. We're going to need all the help we can get. And it would be, if it's the Championship, absolutely play Collin left, right, and centre. Play him as much as we can. If it's in the Premier League, try and put him in every other game, see how he gets on. Eden, what are your thoughts on this? I don't know if anybody else is in at the minute. The numbers are starting to pick up, so I'm hoping people are starting to clock in, which is good. But there's a lot of stuff I want to talk to you guys about. But I need more people than just one in the chat. See, this is what happens when you don't say on Twitter you're going live, because people are lazy, quite frankly. Just to recap, obviously we've got the Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock. We'll be live here for the watch along for the Chelsea game. And then at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, we'll be live for the Newcastle away game, which kicks off at 2:15. And then Burnley at home on the 8th at 6 p.m. We'll be live here. That pretty much, yeah, we'll be live pretty much at 5:45, 10 to 6, give or take. That game's on BT, by the way, guys. Norwich away on the 11th at 12:30. That's also on BT. So we'll be live here at 12:15. So I hope everybody can make it. Of course, it's great to have people along for the watch along. Just as we've got Rich is back in. Rites, hello mate, good to see you. So we got now the numbers are picking up, so we'll wait for a few more minutes to get more people involved. Eden says, I think Cullen's a lot older than people think. He could be good for the championship as he's a stable fixture for Charlton. Agreed, he is. He's 25, 26 now. So at the prime of his midfield career, shall we say. So absolutely, mate, I agree with you. Definitely. Just hoping other people are going to start talking. But yeah, so for the next 4 games, as we know, Chelsea and Newcastle are on Sky, and Burnley and Norwich are on BT. Rich says Chelsea's going to be tough. I mean, they beat Man City and won the league for Liverpool. Let's just forget this fixture and get ready for the next one. Burnley, I think. Newcastle away after that, but yeah, as I said, there we go, Newcastle. So yeah, so hopefully a few more people will clock in because there's I need your opinions on these guys. It's the whole point of the live chat. Come on, There's 12 people watching, only 2 people commenting. 14 now, for that matter. I know you're there. Don't be shy. I know you're there. I can feel you. 15. Come on, talk to me, guys. Say hello. Which has been going for every night for 2 months. I feel like one of those TV hosts of national, one of those quiz phone-ins. Trying to get Mick's in. Hello, mate. So Mick, what would you do with Josh Cullen when he returns from loan? What would you do with him, mate? Eden says if Cullen helps Charlton escape relegation, definitely give him a go. That's a very, very good point, actually, mate. Let's have a look at the table. Let's have a quick goosey to see what the championship table is looking like. Where are we? Yeah, because Charlton are currently 3 points away from the 3 points from the relegation zone. 1, 2 in their last 5, 2 on the bounce as well. They've lost 3 and won 2, which is pretty good going. Excuse me. Let's have a look to see what those starting lineups are. Funnily enough, so they're 1-0 victory over QPR today. The starting lineup, was he in the starting lineup? Let's have a look. He was. He played the whole game. And their victory over Hull as well at the minute. Yep, he played the whole game. He's played at least the last. He's played the last 2 games as well, for that matter. So yeah, so good. That's good. It's good news. It's good news from that point of view. So let's have a look. Rick says, hello, Gazer. I'm still at work. Fair enough, mate. Mick says, the way the results are going, we may not need to get another point. Mate, that's not really answering the question about Josh Cullen. Come on. But yeah, I know what you mean. Good evening, Mark. Hello, mate. Jesus, I'm hanging. Naughty boy. He's a naughty boy. Right, so as you guys have got, we've got a good few people in here now. So yeah, Mick and Mark and Rick, if you can, let me know what your plans, what you would do if Josh Cullen Sorry, with Josh Cullen next season, regardless if we're in the Premier League or in the Championship. What are your thoughts? How would you play him? Would you play him? Where would you play him? Blah, etc. etc. And also, for that matter, we talked about this back in November when the story broke, but it's kind of re-broke again. It's not exactly the same sort of news as that, but this article's come around. Sean Dyche. I know the guys on on West Ham Fan TV were talking about him last night, and I was talking about maybe he might be, what we would think about him as a manager for West Ham. To be honest with you, because obviously Sofiane also asked this question on Twitter earlier today. Well, he asked me if I'd seen the article, and it was basically the same thing as it was 6-7 months ago, 7-8 months ago, even now I should say. But yeah, it's an interesting one here because I know a lot of people don't like him because he's the same. Sorry, I got really itchy nose for some reason today. Allardyce, I know they see him as the ginger Allardyce, but at the same point, when it was touted that Dyche was interested in taking over from Pellegrini, I was all for it, absolutely all for it. To be honest with you, my opinion really hasn't changed. It hasn't changed on Dyche. I think he's a good manager. Not to quote too much of Ryan, but he was absolutely spot on last night. He said that he's got Burnley punching above their weight. Absolutely, he got them relegated, stuck with him for a little bit, and then whacked him. Came straight back up, and have had a very, very good about 3-4 seasons now. They're a good side, Burnley. He's got some very talented players in there. He knows how to motivate people. His substitution thing is different. I'm not going to get involved in the conversation about his subs because I haven't watched the games that Burnley have played, so I don't really know. I'm not going to comment if he needed to make those substitutions or not. But I wouldn't be. I know this is. I know a lot of you guys might not agree with this, but Burnley are on 42 points at the minute. We're on 27, still on goal difference with Villa and West Ham. Of course, we're on with Bournemouth and Villa. Right, so any of the bottom four. I mean, Norwich are only 6 points behind us. Any of the bottom four could get out of relegation. That's the worrying thing. Any four of us, because Watford may get dragged into it because they're only a point above us. But yeah, any of literally the bottom 4 or 5 could completely get dragged into it. But I would take Dyche, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Mick says about Josh. I said sorry, I haven't seen too much of him. Fair enough. Mark says playing midfield ahead of whoever leaves. That's if we're relegated. Not sure if he's good enough for the Prem. Well, as Eden quite rightly says, mate, if you can help Charlton's stay in the Championship for another season, then maybe I say give them a go. Just give them a go. You never know. Kapil Yashap, hello, mate. Good to see you. Hope you're all right. Always nice to see a new face, mate. Always nice to see a new face. But yeah, guys, give me your thoughts on Dyche. There's 13 of you watching and nobody's talking. I'm sure some of you guys are talking on cat around this, so this is why the chat's a little bit delayed, I'm guessing. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on how would you feel about Dyche coming in? If you wouldn't take him, what manager would you realistically see coming in as a result? Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So nobody's talking on this. All right, so moving on to the next one, we find out on Monday what the anniversary kits are, which I'm really looking forward to. Because apparently those are the ones that are gonna be leaked. So it's actually probably officially going to be announced on Monday, I should say. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Really am looking forward to seeing what they are going to be. I'm hoping they're going to look like the shirts that we talked about yesterday. I really do hope they're going to look close to that, because they'll be very nice. Will I buy them? I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens with that. I mean, it depends on what they're like. If I'm honest, because I'm not just one of these sort of people that buy a shirt every single season just for the sake of it. I'll only buy a shirt if I legitimately wear it. I mean, I know it's a big cash cow for the club, but as I said, it's just, there's a lot of shirts I haven't bought over the years because I just think they're ugly. Not ugly is the wrong word to say, but I just don't like them. I think they look too similar to different ones. So Mick says he's done a good job at his present club. If he moves on, yeah, I'd take him. Agreed. Mark says, John, I'd take anyone over Moyes right now. Absolutely anyone. Yeah, I know, but in terms of the footy, though, I mean, would you be happy to? Yeah, I know what Mark's going to say, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Would you guys be happy with what the football we would be under Dyche? Now, Gio made a very interesting thing on this, and it was quite. I've got a funny. I hate to say it, but Gio was wrong with what he was saying. He's right, but he's wrong at the same point. A long ball isn't just booting it up the field. A long ball is literally a long pass for more than, what was it, 17 or 18 yards or something like that. Because he said that because Gio said that we're doing long ball football and Dyche does long pass football, which are one and the same thing. One and the same thing. Under the definition of what each is, it's that they are both exactly the same thing. But I would personally like to see a long pass. I mean, City do long passes, Liverpool do long passes, Arsenal do long passes, Chelsea do long passes, but nobody calls them long balls. They are by their literal definition. It doesn't have to be airborne to be a long ball. Edna says clearly he does something right if Burnley have stuck with him. Not apparently there's a lot of rumours coming out, mate, that he's not happy. He's wanting progression, and it looks like Burnley aren't helping that with him, especially with these players that are leaving for free in a few weeks' time. It's stuff like that, and that's what worries me, because it will have the same thing. Burnley have got exactly the same problem that we do. They're trying to keep hold of. Dyche wants to keep hold of players. The club don't. Moyes wants to keep hold of us. Wanted to keep hold of a couple of players, and he said he wanted to keep hold of Ngaki. I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was just PR stuff, but to keep to make the man look bad. But that's the thing. Mick says, call me sad, I bought every shirts from the early 90s. You're sad, Mick. Nah, it's your choice. It's your choice. I'm not the sort of person that does it, but that's your choice. We thought we were better than Sam, so we got rid. Now look at us. Agreed, mate, completely. Mark says Liverpool play long ball. They do. As I say, you look up the definition of long ball. It's a pass. It's not a boot. It's not a hoof. It's a pass of more than. Hang on. Let's have a look to see exactly what it is now. Yeah. In sport, a ball that is hit, kicked, or thrown in a long way. I mean, that's a bit more. It's a bit ambiguous. Yeah. So this is a bit more. This is a bit more accurate. In foot, a pass that is kicked a long distance. Yeah. But there is a definition of how long the distance actually is. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, so like. I can't seem to find it, but I know there was literally because remember when Pardew was talking about it a few years ago, only literally about 2 or 3 years ago. He was talking about the differences about long ball, and that's when it all came through, was the fact that it's literally kick. It's a kick. It's not, it doesn't have to be aerial. It's a basically a long pass. Quite frankly, Eden says Dyche does like a lone striker occasionally, considering with always got someone injured, he could adapt to the team. Agreed. He does. He likes to. He does like to see. This is one of the things that I said about Santo, the Wolves manager. He adapts his formations to suit the opponents, and to a degree, Dyche does kind of the same sort of thing. JJ says, "Evening, JP. Hello, mate. I hope you're all right." Chris, good evening. I just realised that we're playing on Wednesday, not next Saturday. I know I said it right at the start of the video, which you probably missed. It's Wednesday, and then it's Sunday. It's Chelsea on Wednesday and Liverpool and Newcastle away on Sunday. So yeah, Chris, you're not the only one, mate. To be fair, you're not the only one. You're not the only one that thinks about it. Now, also on talking of Wednesday as well, for that matter, the clubs are looking. The club is asking for people to, if you have a look at the website, it's all that there are articles up about it, about introducing our flags for back again, which is a bit pointless. It's the second home game. Why couldn't they have done that against Wolves on when we first played them on that Saturday? But it is what it is. It's a bit stupid. And it's but at the end of the day, it would be quite nice to see the flags back up again, because with all the flag awnings that they've done, with the flags awnings that they've done, plus the fan flags would look brilliant. It really would look good. Chris said, I would like a young manager to try something different, like 30, 40, not 60 plus. Sean Dyche is 48, Chris. So fits in exactly what you're talking about. So again, I'm not sure what you're talking about, mate. Now, also, what I found this out after we did the live stream yesterday, that Carlos Tevez, apparently he came out saying that he's interested in having a return to European football, and would like to play for West Ham. He's actually he's quoted on here as saying for Radio La Red. He's 36. Tevez, 36. He's only 4 years younger than me. Said if I had to go back to Europe, I would go to West Ham for 6 months to be applauded, or spend 6 months at Corinthians. I wouldn't roll anything out because I don't be a slave to my words. Boca Juniors have offered him a 12-month extension to his contract. Mind. But I mean, it's understandable. I mean, there is an argument that Tevez he's got unfinished business with the club. In quite a few ways, he's got unfinished business. I would love that, but at the same point, we know, like the previous owners and the previous owners before them and the previous owners before them, how the club treats players that we absolutely love. Ginger's a prime example. Winston Reid is a prime example. Going back a few years, even Bobby Moore. It's only the ones I think they can market that they really do something with. and it's poor. It really is poor. Jay's been a bit sarky there. I think the Norwich manager will be available soon. No shit, Sherlock. Chris says he wouldn't mind Dyche. You didn't know he's 48. Well, you do, mate. You do now, mate. You do now. Chris says I'd love Tevez back. Yeah, but as I say, I don't know what use he would be. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen what his abilities like since he moved to China, and then he moved over to then he went over to back to Boca Juniors. So I don't know what his record like. Actual fact, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Let's have a look to see what his details are. Yes, I always thought that his main position was second striker, and he's a centre forward. Edmund says at 36, Tevez is bound to have lost some of his intensity. Agreed, but he's probably still extremely passionate. Agreed. Mark says no, Tevez is too old, and I agree with that, mate. As I say, I thought he was a lot younger than that. Mick, that's what we're going for youth and pensioners. It's what he said. It's not the club or link. We're not linked with him. It's just what he said. It's his actual direct quote. All right, let's have a look. Where are we? Right, so this season in the Superliga, he's had 17 appearances there, 9 goals and 2 assists, a goal every 117 minutes. And he's played an average. He's played 1,054 minutes so far. The animation man's back. Hello, mate. Good to see you. I doubt his off the ball skills are as good anymore. I think you mean there, Eden, don't you? Don't know. That's the thing. We haven't seen him for over a decade. And you know what, 15 years now, give or take. Yeah, so says any more, so I will pass. Agreed. PB, hello guys, hope you're doing all right. This isn't going to be the full hour because we're pretty much halfway through already. Pretty much 90% through. We're only not even at half an hour because you guys have been late. but seriously, no. There's not much. There really isn't much to talk about because the majority of all the stories that are coming out are all about Tevez and there's all about Sean Dyche. It's difficult to find anything else that everyone's talking about to get you guys' opinions on things. I mean. I know the weekends are slow, but I wouldn't. If anything, I thought the weekends would have been even quicker than they are now. There'd be more information, people talking about things now that people are starting to get back, but makes it very, very difficult. Now, guys, the club put up on their website that they've asked for your 5-a-side of the 2010s team, not just the 2010 team, but from any player from 2010 to 2019. So January 1st of 2010 to the 31st of December 2019. Guys, give me your starting 11s for that period. I'm really, really interested to see who you guys would put. I really, really would love to see who your formations on that. Just as I noticed my hand looks like a bloody it looks like half of a face hugger out of Alien. But yeah, give me your starting 11s for players that played from 2010 to 2019. So I will give you mine while you guys are thinking about it. Yossi in goal, Zabaleta, Reed, Ginge, and Creswell as the back four. Diami, Noble, Nolan, and Antonio as the midfield four, with Cole and Sacco up front. I was going to put Demba Ba in, but I've put him in too many times. But guys, let me know what your starting 11s are for that decade, the last decade. It'll be interesting to see what you guys come back with. While you're thinking about this article really angered me. Really angered me, and I have to get you guys' thoughts on this because this man is completely clueless. Michael Brown has warned that opposition sides may target Rice as a West Ham weak link, as he is unused to the unique demands of playing at centre back. Does this guy know anything about Declan Rice? Does he know anything about him at all? And I'll tell you for why. This is the quote. No word of a lie. Right? This is the quote. It said, asked if he thought Rice was better suited in midfield, Brown told the Football Insider, I think you want to see that. It's different when you've got that holding midfielder who steps back into the three so he can be spare, he can sweep up. The difference between a midfielder when I was playing in there, so 20 years ago, going into centre half is when you're dealing with the run off your shoulders, the crosses coming into your box. Materially, that will be totally different. Well, yes, of course, because of course, being playing at defence is different than playing in midfield. What is he talking about? You can say all you like as a midfielder, but central defenders, when you're used to that on so many occasions from totally different angles, different. You would say that for me, for the opposition team with Declan Rice, can you put balls into the box? Can you run off his shoulder? Well, yes, he can, because that's exactly how he started his West Ham career and his Chelsea career. He was a centre-back by nature. He played as a centre-back under Moyes. He played as a centre-back under Bilic. He played as a centre-back under Moyes. Stuck into midfield, but most second time round. But most of his time under Moyes, he was playing in defence. Pellegrini brought him forward. Moyes brought him forward the same way again. But is also the first couple of games, as we know, the first game I should say against Wolves, he was in the centre back position, and was a centre back in the friendly as well, for that matter. So, Jesus Christ. I really don't understand. I mean, this guy works for the BBC. He's a BBC pundit. How does he not know this? That Declan Rice is a centre-back by trade, but he's been in midfield for the last 2 to 3 seasons because we've needed him. And he's been versatile to play as a holding midfielder as a result of it. Richie ain't no part like a... Shut up. Evening, guys. Mate, so you've just clocked in at halfway through, but we're actually more 3/4 of the way through because there's hardly anybody's talking at the moment, unfortunately. But I want you, Richie, to give me your starting 11 from all players from the 1st of January 2010 to the 31st of December 2019. And that includes you, Jay, as well, for that matter, and you, PB, and Mick, if you're still here, and Mark. Because Eden's the only one that's paying attention so far by the looks of it. Eden says Fabianski, Collins, Tompkins, Creswell, Noble, Payet, Parker, Nolan, Antonio, Carlton, Cole. Going for 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2? Was it 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, hang on. You got Collins, Tompkins, Creswell, Noble at the back, Payet, Parker, Nolan, Antonio in the midfield. You're missing a player out there, mate. You've only got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're a player out. Or do you think that there was a player called Carlton and then there was a player called Cole? You're one out. You've given me a 10 team sheet there, mate. So Mark says Fabianski, Zabaleta, Reed, Ogbonna, Creswell, Noble, Parker, Nolan, Payet, Lanzini, and Arnautovic. Not bad. Mix on the beer to give it a miss. AKA you're too pissed to type. Owen Simpson says Fabianski in goal. Zabaleta at right back, Creswell at left back, Reed and Collins as a centre back pairing. So yeah, same back five as mine. Rice as centre midfield, and Noble Rice and Noble as central defence midfielders. Nolan is attacking midfielder along with Lanzini before summer 2018. Strikers Cole and Zaza. No, Cole and Carroll. Not a bad combination there, mate. Not a bad combination whatsoever. Sorry, I missed Reed out. No, you didn't. You already put Reed in. Have a look at your comment. I think, where are we? So, yes, you did. Yeah, you missed him out. So, yes, so Fabianski, so you got a back five in that. Collins, Tompkins, Reed and Creswell, Noble, Payet, Nolan, Antonio and Carlton Cole. So yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout whatsoever. Now this brings me on quite nicely to an article that Football London did earlier today, and I want to get your thoughts on these players as well, because they basically did an article about the West Ham signings who failed to live up to their 5-star billing. So yeah, so I want to get your thoughts on these guys, because to be honest with you, let's start off with it's probably the most contentious one out of this lot, because this player really divided opinion on him for this. Valeron Barami. Signed in 2008 as a 23-year-old with several Serie A seasons at Lazio under his belt, Barami was something of a statement signing. The Swiss midfielder cost around £5 million and would go on to become a solid performer for West Ham over 3 seasons, but he failed to fulfill his very obvious potential. Yeah, it was a lazy fucker. This made all the more galling by the success Barami had after leaving to join Napoli in 2011. Guys, I mean, this is the thing. Barami irritated me when he was a player. Absolutely irritated me, especially in our relegation season. Really, really irritated me when he came back to play for Watford a few seasons later. Still as shit, still as lackluster. So he couldn't cut it in the Premier League. He really couldn't cut it in the Premier League. So Andy Carroll is the next one. So while Carroll might not have succeeded at Liverpool, West Ham's signing of the 6'4" striker, first on loan and permanently in 2013, looked to be a smart decision. Carroll was at the time very much still in the national team picture for England, and despite his injury problems, was a proven goalscorer at Premier League level. He also looked to be a good stylistic fit for the Hammers. However, the injury troubles he experienced at Liverpool were only a precursor to what Carroll would suffer during his time as a West Ham player and also back as Newcastle player. There were glimpses of the striker's goal-scoring instincts, most notably in the 2015-16 season when he finished with 9 goals from 27 Premier League games, but Carroll was never fit enough to build any kind of momentum and left on a free last summer. Agreed 100%. I really thought Carroll was going to do something for us. When he came on, he gave his all, but 9 goals in 27 games, even as a striker of his characteristics, is poor. It really, really is poor. Such a disappointment. Javier Hernandez, aka Chicharito. The £16 million paid to buy Leverkusen for Hernandez in 2017 reflected just how badly West Ham needed a true goal scorer to lead their attack. In Chicharito, they found someone with a proven Premier League record, so his signing looked to be something of a coup at the time. However, Hernandez only found the back of the net 16 times in 2 seasons as a West Ham player before leaving for Seville last summer. The Mexican was never able to find his best form for the club and is now playing for LA Galaxy in the United States after also failing to make an impression in La Liga. Well, the problem was with Hernandez, as far as I'm concerned, and guys, can you please weigh in on this? Was the fact that he wasn't played in the right position, he wasn't played at the right places, he wasn't played at the right time, he was too much of as a substitute. So many issues with the way that Hernandez was played through all 3 managers. So many issues with that, and that's half the problem. Really was half the problem. Mark says he was a workhorse, JP, an absolute workhorse. I take it you're talking about Carroll. Because I'm on the third player by now. Simone Zaza is the last one out of this. Hang on, where are we? Tony says 16 goals in 2 seasons for a struggling West Ham side was good, and he managed. Yeah, but that's half the problem, mate. But that's half the problem. He shouldn't have been off the bench. He shouldn't have been off the bench. He should have started. There were games that were crying out for him to start games, and none of the managers were doing it. It really irritates me. Chris says 16 goals isn't bad, as Arnie was chosen over him. Agreed, but still, 2 up front. We've been how many years of decades for that matter have we been asking for two up front on a regular basis? Hernandez and Haller this season would have been brilliant. They would have really worked well together. Hernandez and Arnautovic again would have worked really well with each other. Anyway, so the last player on here is Simone Zaza. He may have only been signed on loan, but great things were expected of Zaza when he pitched up at the West Ham from Juventus. The Italian international striker was deemed surplus to requirements in Turin, so the Hammers paid him €5 million loan fee and agreed to a 20 million permanent purchase option. However, Zaza failed to score in eight keep saying Zaza for some reason. However, Zaza failed to score in 8 appearances in the Premier League before picking up a serious knee injury in December 2016. He subsequently left West Ham in January, just 6 months after his arrival. Typically, Zaza had rediscovered his form in La Liga and Serie A, making his short-lived Premier League stint all the more peculiar and frustrating for the Hammers. Well, again, because at the end of the day, he was rushed into it, absolutely pushed into it. It wasn't good. It really was a bad thing for him. I honestly think that there was too much pressure on him because there was a clause in his contract as it intimated there that once he played on loan, after a certain amount of appearances, if I remember correctly, would have been, I think it's about 12 appearances. I think it was, that we would have to buy him permanently, and it didn't happen. So, which is why he was loaned back. Which is why we hardly saw him. That season was poor for everybody. To be fair, poor purchases, poor motivation, etc., etc. I mean, the whole Payet saga didn't exactly help. But you know, it was a shame. But again, once you leave West Ham, you have a better career most of the time. Chris says they just don't think outside of the box. They could at least try it for one game. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Chris. Mark says Brahmi was the workhorse. Carroll was always injured, and Hernandez was past his best when he joined. Kind of, yeah. Rishi says Cantwell's goal for Norwich was a stunner. Nice to see you participating as always there, mate. Jaime says not necessarily much. Hernandez should have been started more against Southampton. He scored 2 and saved us in previous games. Agreed. Yeah, he did. Both of them did, and Arnautovic and Andem did. But yeah, you know, it was a shame. It was a real shame. It really was a shame. On it. So yeah, and likewise as I say tonight, it's a shame because we haven't got as many people talking, we haven't got as many people engaging in the conversations as well, for that matter. So I think, to be honest with you guys, there's hardly anybody talking. We've got 19 people watching, which is great as always, and 2 on Facebook, fantastic. Just to say, somebody buggers off. Yeah, one's just left on Facebook. But yeah, Rishi says we should have kept Hernandez or Perez. I would have kept Hernandez, to be honest with you, mate, over Perez. Perez was they are very, very similar, very, very similar players. Very, very similar players, but I would Hernandez was just had that bit more professionalism to him than Perez did. I mean, Perez tried. He really, really tried, and I love him for that. I mean, you could see he was trying to. He wasn't the best of most prolific of goal scorers, but he tried. He says, I'm excited to see Diangana and Bowen on the wings. That would be good. It would be very, very good. Mark says Hernandez would have been better in a 4-4-2. Agreed, but our midfield wasn't strong enough to play that way. Well, I kind of disagree, to be honest with you. We had a brilliant midfield in those days. Even last season we had a very good midfield. Perez hardly played but scored some goals. He did. His goal ratio for his appearances was brilliant. Was really, really was good. But that's half the problem, is the fact that he wasn't being used properly. He tried his hardest. I mean, they all tried. They all really, really tried to the best of their abilities. But unfortunately, that some of their abilities just wasn't good enough, and that's half the problem. Homer says, I was satisfied with Perez. He didn't start many games, mostly on the bench. Agreed. But yeah. Okay, so unless we have a bit more, where are we just? Right, that's everything that I wanted to talk about. Is there anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up? Because the conversation is not flowing in the chat as much as it used to, which is fine, not a problem. You know, it happens every now and again. But I'm not sitting here waiting for you guys to ask questions at the same point, to be fair, because I want to try and keep talking about things as much as possible. So let's see what else is in and around. Let's have a look. No, there's nothing new there. And there's nothing new there either. Yeah. Homer says favorite moment as a Hammer, playoff final 2012, mate. That was my favorite. That's the first one that comes straight to mind, completely straight to mind. You know, it was. But yeah, I'd also say that the probably the FA Cup, as painful as it was, I'd pretty much say that. I'd say that. I reckon it was that. Yeah. Richie, I feel your pain, son. Watching Norwich play at the moment, I'm worried when we play them, mate. Yeah, they're fighting. We're the only club at the moment that isn't fighting. You know, that's half. You know, that is half the problem. To be fair, that is half the problem. Tone, any idea when the new kit comes out? Yes, mate. We've already talked about it again before you came in. They're released on Monday. Right, there's no real news to talk about, unfortunately. Rishi says, "How long would you give Moyes to turn things around?" He's got a game. He's got two games. If we don't see any fight against Chelsea and we don't see any fight against Newcastle, he's gone for me. He's absolutely gone for me. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see the man anywhere near West Ham ever again. I really don't. If there's no fight on Wednesday night, there's no fight on Sunday. He's off. Adios, amigos. So yeah, we'll pretty much wrap it up there, guys. So thank you very much for watching. I know it's a little bit earlier and stuff, but this is predicated on conversations, unfortunately. So I say, because it's a chat with me. It's not me chatting at you. It's not in likewise. So Tony says, I really hope our next manager is Dyche. I really do. I'll take anybody. Like Mark, I'll take anyone at this point. But thanks very much for watching, guys. As I said, if you purchase any purchases through the channel sponsor 3 Retro, the link is in the description. They're doing free delivery this weekend, so that take a little bit of a sting out of any purchases you may be making. But as I say, guys, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow evening for we'll have the pub quiz, and we'll hopefully have a few more people talking as well. So all the best. Bye bye.